I think Nic Cage should take over Facebook's Meta because he would do a much better job. I'm Justin.
LSD, huh? Oh, fuck it. I'm Sam, and this is a good movie field trip of the unbearable weight of massive talent on Stinker Madness.
Hello and welcome to Stinker Madness. This is a podcast about bad movies for bad movie lovers by bad movie lovers. I'm your host, Justin. With me, as always, Sam. Jackie's in the next room, but she can't be on the podcast because we don't have enough headphones for her to hear Sam, or headphone plugs in a gaming laptop to, it's all that stuff again. So, but anyways, Sam and I are here. We're going to do a full episode on the unbearable weight of massive talent, starring one Nicolas Cage as Nicolas Cage. This will be, I think, Sam, unless I'm mistaken, the highest rated Rotten Tomatoes movie we will have ever done. This has got 100% on RT.
Oh, it was 83 when I went to see it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's this ad I'm looking at says 100% on RT. What do we got else? 7.6 user rating, and I don't see the Metacritic score. I don't know why that doesn't come up on the oh, it's 67 on Metacritic. So, but still 100% on our Rotten Tomatoes. That's pretty high praise, as Nick would say.
I think it's odd because if you were to look at this on paper, like if you just had like the pitch notes or the treatment, it would say the movie adaptation only written by Shane Black, and you were like, well, that's going to be a stinker.
Right.
Because this is like adaptation if Shane Black wrote adaptation.
But good.
We'll get to that, I guess.
Okay.
So the director is Tom Gorminican, who you haven't heard of.
No, I have not.
He did a movie called That Awkward Moment before this.
Haven't heard of that.
Zac Efron and Miles Teller and Creed. What's his name?
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. And it was sort of either poorly received and misunderstood, or both. Mm-hmm. One or the other. Some of the user ratings were really good. Like, if you actually get what this movie's trying to do, it's not bad.
Okay.
Most people didn't get it, I guess, so nobody likes it. And then Kevin Attenborough, the writer, is the executive producer of the series Workaholics.
Oh, okay,
and
sure.
Ghosted, who Tom Gorminican has done a number of episodes of as director. So this is basically already sort of a team up. But really what this is, because the producer and probably the producer in charge of this movie is Nic Cage. Mm-hmm. And the subscript of this movie is the same shit that Nicolas Cage has been bitching about in interviews, written or audio, television, that the money people make the decisions on the plot now, and you really just can't make a good movie. I find it odd that the script is basically like, I don't know if I was sold a different trailer, right?
Okay.
All of the zany, wacky action business that happens in this movie, I did not think was there. I actually did think this was just going to be Nicolas Cage playing himself breaking down at a rich guy's birthday party. Yeah. And I was totally into going to just that.
Yeah, I kind of, I'm pretty sure we saw the same trailer then.
And in the middle of the movie, when they're talking about writing and how, well, we got to have a hook, we're going to add this element, we're going to add that element, then we'll get people into the theater. This didn't have that in the trailer.
No, it did not.
It's like they said you can't make a good movie because you have to make this kind of a movie. But then they made that movie just to go, I guess you can make this movie too. Nic Cage!
Exactly.
On paper, this shit doesn't work.
No, it does not. It does not. I mean, I'm trying to think of what the actual pitch would be. Just that Nic Cage is playing Nic Cage as is how I'm like, that's my definition of who he's not Nicolas Cage in this movie. He's Nic Cage, spelled with a K, which I thought was kind of maybe, like, if I had one gripe about this film, is that it's not enough meta. He's playing a character rather than playing himself, which I thought was an odd choice, even though there's tons of references, including clips of him in Con Air and The Rock and the props and all that, and then, quoting his own movies all over the place.
Now, did you suspect, and I suspect, that those, because I don't think that they could have secured the rights to those movies, I feel like they reshot those scenes.
The Con Air looked a little, except for the scenes where they had Keira Sedgwick. Those were the shots that I remember from her, but it did look a little like young Nic Cage, Nick fucking Cage or Nicky, as his character's name in this, was playing Nicolas Cage in Con Air. That's kind of the same visual effect that I saw as well, but maybe it was just that they were trying to, instead of showing just the straight original footage of Con Air, the cut, they added some sort of filter to differentiate between the two realities or something. I'm not sure. Well, but it didn't look the same.
What I noticed is it seemed like he was intentionally delivering the lines poorly.
Oh, in Con Air?
Yeah, like whenever he was doing the Nic Cage lines, he did a better job in the actual movie. It feels like he was intentionally being shitty in these reshoots.
Dude, I mean, we did an episode of Con Air, man. It stinks pretty bad.
He doesn't really stink in it. It's just the movie. He's goddamn terrible.
You just talked me into, I'd watch Con Air again. Let's watch Con Air, Sam. Let's put that to the test.
All right, I'm going to save it for questions at the end, but.
Okay, all right. What else you got?
Sorry, I have to write down this question. It's very good.
The answer is no.
That's pretty much all I got. Interesting things. Budget.
Okay.
30 million.
30. Ooh, boy, that's a lot.
No, it's not.
Well, not in today's modern society.
You know what 30 million is? It is the bare minimum that a movie studio will spend to have a $20 million marketing package.
Yeah. Okay.
So it has the exact minimum budget that it must have to be in theaters at a wide release.
Okay.
So there's more of this Nicolas Cage statements being made here. Like, this is really him just going, yeah, look at me. Also, Tom Cruise shot 10 movies with himself. Did you get the Top Gun trailer in this one?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, God, that looks bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty jacked about it. It looks awful. The old man's back. Hey, buddy. Hey, Mav. They shot 100 hours of that. I know we talked about it a couple episodes that they shot more footage for Top Gun Maverick than all of the Lord of the Rings movies. 100 hours. 100.
We'll venture to guess that the Navy got into bed with him on that.
Oh, I'm sure.
And they shot 100 hours of Navy commercials because of how Top Gun did last time.
Right.
I don't think that's going to happen again.
Yeah, no, fire in a bottle is gone. Let's talk about unmassively weighty talent. Yeah, it's sitting at 7.1 on its first opening weekend. I don't think that's great on that 30 to 50 that we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to get traction, but where the 30 to 50 number is however these things are calculated with Redbox and Vudu rentals and streaming rentals and pay-per-views and everything, is that the current system now for the post-release is that's what they're saying, is that if this thing fucking tanks, post-release, what used to be a video shelf and selling these tapes, we can get back to that 50 with the current post-release.
Yeah, okay. Well, word of mouth is definitely going to help that drive up that price. 7.1 seems low to me. Like, a lot of people may be thinking, like, I mean, it could be fun, but it's probably going to suck, is where the mindset, I think, of the average moviegoer would be right now. And it's in a bad window, late April. It's stacked up against kids' movies. When we went to the theater, it was packed. And then when we went into the Nic Cage movie, there was nobody in there because everybody was going to see the bad guys or the stupid Harry Potter crap that actually is also really not doing very well either. So I think we're buzz. You could get this into the theater, keep it in the theaters for 4 weeks or so with some like second week buzz.
Yeah, I feel like this could stay in the theater for 5 weeks and just do that 5 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then they'd be like,
work.
"Yeah, that worked out." It's also Lionsgate that released it, and they just don't know how to make money.
Yeah, I heard HBO wanted to do it, but Lionsgate was like, "Hell no, we're getting this.
We'll tank this ship." But there was no way to tank it because Nick's like, "Oh, I'm going to prove a point by making this $30 million movie."
Mm-hmm.
Is Lionsgate not out of the Tom? They did John Wick 1, right? Or they did the John Wicks, didn't they?
I thought so.
Yeah, so that's what they just lose money on everything except they were almost bankrupt. They were going out, then the Hunger Games hits. Those other Hunger Games movies can't have made that much. The fourth one didn't do great.
Right.
And then John Wick puts them back up again, so this is a studio that survives off of like one movie every 5 years.
Right. Yeah, they had some decent ones in the last couple of years that I was like, "Huh, that's Lionsgate, huh?" I'm shocked. But yeah. So, all right. Well, if that's all you got, Sam, let's get into it. Other than let's roll through the cast here. You of course got Nicolas Cage, Pedro Pascal, who's fantastic.
So Pedro Pascal.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps he's the next chameleon. I don't know how because he's
he's
just
Gary
funny.
Oldman or Tom Hardy.
Yeah, or Kingpin. What's his name?
Christian Bale.
No, Kingpin in the
Zach D'Onofrio. Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio, who's apparently called the chameleon, but I would say Gary Oldman. Sandra didn't recognize him.
Yeah.
As being the Mandalorian or the Sand Snake.
And
I was like, that's the same guy. She's like, no. Like, yep. I know, what a chameleon. I was like, he's actually just wearing a button-up shirt.
Right. Oh, what a... I never would have guessed.
Perhaps Clark Kent's glasses would work.
For the longest time, I didn't know that Han Solo and Indiana Jones were the same guy. So but at the same time, I was like 8. So I forgive myself. Tiffany Haddish is in this. Who else we got? NPH stops by.
Yeah, NPH stops by. The daughter, do you know who that is? Lily Mo Sheen?
I'm guessing she's a Sheen.
No, she's not. She's Michael Sheen and Kate Beckinsale's daughter.
Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen.
Sheehan.
His name is Michael Sheen. You've seen him 1,000 times.
Yeah, I know who Michael Sheehan is.
Well, it's spelled that way.
Yeah, I know it's not. Michael Sheehan is spelled S-E-H or S-H-E-H-A-N.
I don't know if you know who Michael Sheen is.
Oh wait, Michael Sheen. British? Is he British?
He's British.
Okay, Michael Sheen. He's Frost Nixon.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that Michael Sheen. I was thinking of Michael Sheehan.
No.
Michael Strahan. Yeah, okay, interesting. I wouldn't have put that together.
And then the late bad guy's Paco Leon, who's awesome. He's rarely seen, but always, you don't he's got the eyes, right?
Right, the crazy eyes.
He's got the crazy eyes. I like him.
Yeah. I also thought Sharon Horgan was really good. She not great. She didn't have the role to be great. But there was one scene that I was like, dude, she's killing it right here. So she was good. Yeah, everybody was great. Everybody's great. Loved them all. But all right, let's dive into this.
Actually, Tamina Moore stunk.
Yeah, she did. That's true.
But she was supposed to.
Yeah, that was.
So she did great.
Right. Stinking. Okay, so Nic Cage, like I said, he's as is. It's the modern world we live in. He's not doing theatrical releases. He's doing DTVs, all of them, taking whatever comes his way. He's trying to make a comeback. Not that he ever left. Is the quote that keeps coming back around. And he's trying to land a role in a David Gordon Green movie. That's where we're at. That's
basically.
Yeah.
When he should be landing a role in, God damn it.
Dune 2.
The guy that Gordon Green kicks around with that does the movies that I like, Shotgun Stories and the Midnight Express. Nichols.
Phil Nichols.
I got his last name. I'm good enough.
Okay, all right. So he's struggling. He's got a daughter. He doesn't have a daughter in real life. Not yet, at least. He's got 2 kids because he's got the Kal-El. I know that, and then some other kid. They're both boys, but anyways. So he's got a daughter in this. She's about to be 16. She is. I think that she likes her dad, but she doesn't want to be her dad. And a lot of the start of this film is him being told how much he's making a little Nic Cage out of her.
Yeah. I think she loves her dad, but she knows that she can only be around her dad when she wants the show, This Is My Dad.
Right. Yeah. 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 She's being smothered with his nickness. So she can only have a little taste of Nick every now and then. You know, you get too much Nick, you're gonna get numb to the Nick. Which I don't know is a thing. That doesn't track because I'm not numb to the Nick and I've got all the Nick.
Got all of it.
Give me more Nick. I'll take more Nick.
I lost my head.
You got any Nick over there, Sam? I'll take a little Nick.
Yeah.
Got plenty. Pass that Nick. Don't be stingy. Pass the Nick.
I got a picture sleeping happily on a Nic Cage pillow.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to find that so you can post it.
Do you still have the pillow?
Yes.
It's got to be someplace.
Yeah.
I bet you that pillow's got to be worth money.
Bert made me take it with him. He's like, you love this more. Because he's actually the one that got that in the White Elephant.
Mm-hmm.
And then he took that picture. And then when I moved out, he was kind of like, you should take this. Because I don't want it. And you seem to actually like it. I'm like, I love that pillow.
I bet you it's worth something. It's a cool pillow. I mean, there's a Nic Cage pillow in this movie.
If the number of dollars one would have to offer me to possess it from me would be much higher. I really feel like you could offer me $1,000 for that pillow right now, and I tell you to fuck off.
I definitely don't think it's worth that.
No,
I don't think anybody's going to do. But it's a nice pillow you got there, Sam. I was thinking,
no, it's sort of like $20. You can get your own. Go away. This is mine.
I bet you could eBay it for about $200 is the top end on that pillow. But man, I guess it's staying in your collection.
Yeah. I'm glad Sandra doesn't like it. It's stuffed in the closet.
You can't put Nick in the closet. That's not where he goes.
I would say nobody puts baby in the corner, but then Nic Cage would show up in the program like, do not mention me. The same sentence as Patrick Swayze.
I would have loved to have seen that. A Patrick Swayze, Nic Cage, post-apocalyptic trucker combo.
He would get bored.
Nick?
Yeah, I'd be like, I can't even be me in this movie.
He would find a way.
He always finds a way.
Yeah, he would find a way to bring out the Nickness. And then Patrick Swayze would be like, I don't know what to do. Which would be very Patrick Swayze. It would work. I'd like it.
I don't remember what was in the theater against guarding Tess, but John and I would go down once a month to watch the movies because he had free gas. I couldn't afford to drive my own happy ass down there very often, and we wanted to see a number. Like he wanted to see like every movie except Guarding Tess, and I'm like, no, let's go see Guarding Tess. Let's do that. And he didn't. He fell asleep. And I was just like stapled to the screen the entire time. I'm like, this Cage guy has got it.
I'm a 15-year-old movie critic. Talent guy. It seems like he's got massive talent.
He had me at, what are you going to do? Arrest me? Put me in airport jail? I thought that was the funniest fucking thing I'd ever seen.
I still say that all the damn time.
Oh, yeah. But they can now.
Yeah, they can. They always could. But you can still use it in places like, like when you go to the mall or something, or Walmart. Let's just say Walmart, because everybody has to at some point go to Walmart, and the product is in the wrong place, and you're like, or like one of the aisles is blocking the product you want to get, the shit in the way, and so you move it, and they're like, I don't know if you can do that. What are you going to do? Put me in Walmart jail? I say it all the time.
Yeah, that's applicable. That plays, because there is no Walmart jail.
That we know of.
There can't be.
Well, it's a strange place.
They just stack you up in some tires. Oh, Mr. Funny Guy, looks like you're in a bunch of tires.
What are you going to do now, funny guy?
Hey, funny guy. Looks like you're having a hard time getting out of those tires.
Some freaking minimum wage guy starts throwing wads of paper at your face. Oh, you think you're smart, huh? This jail sucks.
Pelting you with frozen pizza bites.
Excuse me, can I go to actual jail? No. You're in Walmart jail. Yeah. Your ass is mine.
This is mafia torture, motherfucker.
And then when, because you're in the tires and they roll you down the hall, they say dead man rolling, because
they just stick you out in the sun in the tires, and they put one of the Walmart crab cakes on the front of the tire next to your nose as it heats in the sun, and you're just like, oh God, I'm gonna barf for these tires and on myself. Because I got one. I was really dumb because I like crab cakes. I was like, oh, Walmart has crab cakes. And I went, this is not a good idea. And I got them. And I was like, look, honey, crab cakes. And she's like, you got these at Walmart?
Why would you do that?
I didn't know they had a seafood section. And she goes, they shouldn't. And they weren't good. She tried to eat a bite of it and she spit it out and she just shook her head, and I ate a whole one and I was like, I'm not eating another one. They're too dank. These are too fishy. So that would be really bad if you jammed somebody into a bunch of tires and stuck them in the sun and put one of those crab cakes on them. I'm actually not going to mouth off to the people of Walmart just in case they have imaginations like mine.
Okay. All right. So back to Nic Cage. He's got an ex-wife, Olivia. They still are very friendly, still chummy, but she also couldn't handle. It's too much Nick. The Nick is getting in the way of their marriage, so they had to split up.
I actually, by character with her, I am like, she just thinks, well, I'm going on with my life. He might notice I'm gone at one point.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Like, because the Nic Cage is unable to see past the inside of his own ass.
Uh-huh. Yeah, this movie's very, critical of Nic Cage's own ego. Like,
yeah,
Nick with a K loves Nick with a K. And might also love Nick without the K. Like, he just loves Nic Cage.
And everything that he's interested in, because he's obviously the smartest, most handsome, most athletic man ever, is something that people should not only behold, but learn from him.
Right. Yes. Yeah. He's a... there's got to be a cool word that I can't think of right now. Not a sophist.
A solipsist? He's just a narcissist. Yeah. Solipsism actually would be that you are the only, you're like a deity in and of yourself, and the world is just entertainment around you.
Well, that's pretty much like what's going on here.
So he's a solipsist.
Yeah. All right. So Neil Patrick Harris, he's his agent. They're good pals. They get along pretty good. And this was another thing. I was like, MPH really isn't in this movie very much. Maybe like 10 minutes of screen time. And I was like, look, let's lean into this reality again, that this is actual Nic Cage. Use an unknown to be his agent. You don't need to sneak MPH in here.
I'm actually going the opposite direction.
Okay. All right.
Because of how zany this will get as we get into it. I kind of wanted NPH to come back into the fold. I needed more of him once the silly business started happening.
Yeah, one or the other, but just 10 minutes of it, it was like, this is unnecessary. Let's either go one direction or the other. But anyways, so Neil Patrick Harris is his agent. He tells him about this birthday gig. He's like, hey, got a call. A rich guy, he wants you to be at his birthday, and he's willing to pay $1 million. And Nick is like, I'm not a fucking clown. I don't do blow up animals. I don't go to birthday parties. And Neil Patrick Harris is like, well, it turns out that that David Gordon Green movie, you didn't get it. Sorry, bud.
Do you want me to read for you? No.
Oh, yeah.
He blows it on his own, right? Like, but his agent's really good at being his agent. So it's like, oh, he loved you. He's going a different direction. Not, dude, why did you fucking read for him? And you didn't even read for him. You memorized it, and then you spit in his face, yelling in the parking lot. You fucking... This is why you're not getting anything. You're trying too goddamn hard.
You are trying too hard to work. It's my job. So he's like, I'm not doing this clown shit. But then, like, 2 drinks later, he's like, yeah, I'll do it. So he goes to this lavish island to meet Javi. Javi is Pedro Pascal's character. He doesn't know he's Javi. He's kind of being an asshole, making him carry the bags, that old joke and stuff. And eventually he realizes that's Javi, and he does the thing from the trailer. I guess that's a Nic Cage thing. Is that a Nic Cage thing where you put your hand in your fist like the namaste, but it's like a cool namaste?
I don't know,
like
but it's working out here. I also really liked the belts that are a little bit more cagey than real belt cage, but they were fun.
Yeah.
The exaggeration of himself was fun. At the same time, you see pictures of him drunk in Vegas, and you're like, maybe he does this shit.
Yeah, maybe he does this shit. I'm fine with it.
Again, he's a producer. He's an executive producer on this.
So at first he's skeptical. He's like, I don't know about this whole thing. I've got jet lag. I'm just gonna hang out by the pool, have some drinks, just soak in some sun. And Javi's gal pal, his unspoken gal pal, Gabriella, who is also his assistant, because he's in love with her, but she has to pretend like she's assistant, or maybe Javi's more like Steven Seagal than we want him to be. And either way, he loves her, and she's his assistant. So she's like, hey, did you read the script? And Nic Cage is like, what script? I didn't get a script. And she's like, the script that we sent to your agent, I don't know anything about that. Let me chill out. And she's like, no, you don't get to freaking chill out. We paid $1 billion for you to come to this island and hang out with Javi, and it's his birthday, and he's a sweet guy. You should really spend some time with him, get to know him. And he says he wants you over by the cliffs.
Actually,
get your butt up and get over there.
She isn't nearly as submissive as you're making it out to be. And her the actress's name is Alessandra Mastronardi.
Ooh.
Yeah, she could have my Nardi.
God damn it, no, Steven Seagal. No, Steven Seagal. Bad Steven Seagal.
Oh, she would. She'd be like, take it, and she'd rip it off and shove it down my throat and be like, get to the fucking cliffs. Because that's what she does. She rips the sheets up and like, listen up, dickhead, get in the car. Oh, yeah, I'm getting paid.
So he goes down there. He's going to retire. That's the other thing. He's like, he's so done with the whole thing of the Hollywood system and getting turned down, and all he wants to do is work, but nobody will let him work. And he's Nic fucking Cage. Let him do his job, but he's like, nope, I'm done. I'm gonna get a farm, and I'm gonna like fail at it. But the whole time I'm gonna fail at it while being very Nic Cagey, because that's the only place I can be Nic Cage anymore, I guess. And have the animals don't get mad at me and say, hey, could you maybe take it down a notch? No, I'm Nic fucking Cage, the farmer. So Javi hears about this, and he's like, no, that's not going to work. I love Nic Cage. We gotta do something about this.
I don't know that he's really serious about it. I think he's just being
poopy.
A 6-year-old that's like,
I'm never eating peas again.
But peas are your favorite, Bobby.
No, I can't go on.
And then once you pay attention to him, it's like,
Okay, I'll do it. Just for you.
Bobby sucks. Little bastard. So yeah, Javi takes him down to these cliffs and starts ad-libbing at him. And Nic Cage is like, no, I'm not going to go for it. I'm not going to go for it. And he's like, you have to. This is your gift to the world. If you take away Nic Cage, you're actually turning your back on mankind. And Nic Cage is like, God damn it. If there's one thing I love more than Nic Cage, it's mankind.
yeah. But then is one of the most truly magical movie moments when he turns back to the camera. Because this is an overly dramatized, like, I guess we're gonna have to. But it, like, the way he does it, he actually solidly nails this.
Right.
And at the same time overdoes it because he's Nic fucking Cage.
Uh-huh.
And then starts the rebirth.
Yeah, so he's back in. Javi talked him into it. They jump off the cliff. That's in the trailer. You saw that part. And he's back into it. Well, the CIA, unfortunately, it just happens to be on this island as well. And they're like, hey, why is Nic Cage here? Maybe he's working some weird angle with Javi, who we think is the head of a cartel. We got to get Nic Cage. Like, tell him what's up and maybe potentially save the entire world, because if Nic Cage is killed by a cartel guy, well, everybody's going to go to war, right? So let's get Nic Cage in. They kidnap him, and they're like, hey, Javi, he's a real bad guy. He kidnapped the daughter of a politician.
Yeah. In fact, we screwed up by not saying that this movie starts out with a kidnapping that comes out of nowhere that is brutal, and you're like, fuck, what the fuck is this movie about?
Yeah, right.
Planned by Nic Cage, I think. Or maybe Lionsgate just fucked up the trailer that much. He's like, fine, I'll give you these other elements so I can make a character journey about myself. And then they're like, oh, we'll just do this. And Nic Cage was like, head slap. I thought I was going to make some money off that one.
So they're like, this guy Balasari, he disappeared 15 years ago, and the guy that's running against, he's running against this guy whose daughter was kidnapped. So they kidnapped the daughter so that this other guy drops out of the race, so Balasari can just take over and then like be friendly with the cartels, and it's bad. America doesn't like that. So you got to stop it, Nic Cage. You got to find that girl.
Yeah,
Nic Cage.
And then he does a bunch of where he's back to being the master thespian, and his intuition is perfect. And he starts sort of, just kind of berating them, like, look, I know what I'm. Perhaps we do stand on common ground, but since we're standing on common ground, you should know that I am actually the peak of this common ground, and you two don't know the fuck you're doing.
There's no way that Javi is a criminal mastermind.
There's no way.
No way.
He's a fanboy.
But, Nick, think about that girl. She's about the same age as your daughter. And just think about your daughter being tied up in some basement someplace, blindfolded, scared, maybe never going to see her family again, probably got her hands chopped off and stuffed down her throat, and now she's eating her own flesh, and that's really gross. But, dude, maybe she can move on in like 40 years, or you could just stop it now, Nic Cage.
Classic CIA bullshit.
Well, when you say it like that.
No, Tiffany Haddish nails it. And Ike Barinholtz, and he's from Workaholics, I think, the other guy.
Yeah, I follow him on Twitter. He's very funny.
These two are great. Like, she's an operative, he's a bean counter, but they're, like, on this thing that the CIA isn't really worried about, so they are totally the B team.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. Yeah, totally. Totally B team. Which seems like not the right choice, CIA. This is an A team type situation.
Where is this? This is in Italy. Where the hell is this supposed to be set?
I think Italy, someplace around Italy. Not the Riviera, what's that area
Spain?
called?
Is it Morocco?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be
The
in
Alps.
Europe, right? Like, I didn't look this up, and I probably should have for set and setting purposes, but it doesn't seem like it's in South America or Mexico. This
No,
seems
no,
very
no. This is
Mediterranean.
Mediterranean. Yeah, very Mediterranean.
Yeah.
It was filmed in Croatia. So,
Very Mediterranean.
very Mediterranean.
Which, so, I mean, they're like, the CIA is probably tinkering in the Mediterranean, but are they putting their best people in the Mediterranean right now?
And also, like, what's a guy friendly with the cartels? There's no cartels in Mediterranean countries. There's a mob, I guess. Maybe still. There's human traffickers.
Just
Lots
by
of human traffickers.
Definition of cartel, they're talking about guns. They're not talking about drugs.
Yeah,
they're talking
true.
about
That's
guns.
True. Yeah.
This is a gun running operation.
Okay. All right. I just hear cartel and I go straight to gun or drugs. So because of the American media.
Maybe the CIA is vested in a Mediterranean gun running operation because they're like, no, we have to be the ones selling those people the guns.
That's us.
We make, God damn it, we make a lot of these.
We gotta get them the guns. Like we're overflowing with guns. It's plugging up our
half of these guns used to be ours. Whose watch did that happen on? God damn it! Get those guns back so we can sell them again.
Part of the infrastructure bill was keeping the guns off the streets, and literally by like shoveling the streets guns, we got guns on our streets. I mean, like we can't commute anywhere because the traffic jams of all the guns.
Yeah,
like who put these guns here? Get these guns off the street.
Here's a sidetrack. First time that I saw the numbers on the walls of the Matrix was when I was a kid watching KTLA. And I wasn't a kid. We were only living down there for a little bit before we moved back to Idaho. There was a KCOP or KTLA story where they showed all these seized guns. And they're like, these are actually going to be destroyed. And then they like show a shot of guns, like piles and piles, warehouses full of seized guns. And they like show a guy like getting a torch and like lighting one gun on fire. And I'm like, you sold all those fucking guns.
Right? No shit.
I'm 12 and you cannot piss on my leg and tell me it's raining.
Federal agents destroyed a lot of guns today. Here's a list of the guns that they didn't destroy.
Right after that, there was a gun auction commercial.
Get the guns off the streat. There's
gun
a pile
show.
up on Highway 21.
I went to the gun show. I like them. I never buy anything but stupid shit, though. Like last time I went to a gun show, I bought olive oil and a throwing knife.
Those go
because the guns aren't a good deal there. You're like, that's Screwsville. I can get a new one of those for less than that.
Don't ever use the olive oil and the knife at the same time.
Yeah. You should when cooking.
You bought a cooking knife?
No, a throwing knife.
Yeah, no, don't lube up and then use the throwing knife.
No, you just use the throwing knife as cutlery because what the fuck am I going to do with a throwing knife?
Honey, will you chop these vegetables? It's going to take a while because I'm using my throwing knife at them. Okay, one. Oh, shit, I clanked off the wall.
Use it like a normal knife, but it doesn't work good at that. If you get a throwing knife at a gun show, it's a really shitty one. So like, you're like, oh, maybe I can use this as cutlery.
honey, will you hold this carrot up in the air? No, closer to your face. A little bit closer to your face. Okay, all right. So the CIA, they're like, go in, sneak around. Here's a bug. Here's a tracking device. You could take over his camera system using this. So he sneaks in during his birthday party, during the big celebration, and he puts a bug in the camera system. But they gave him like an agent that if you touch somebody, they'll be incapacitated within 30 seconds. But then, because he's stressed out, he rubs his own forehead.
Yeah, it's supposed to be some super poison that will kill you, but there's an antidote. And I thought that it was fun because it was like it could work on the surface of the human body, but the antidote had to be intravenous.
Injected, yeah. Right. And I like the way that it was delivered, where he just casually rubbed his head. And I spotted it immediately, of course. I'm pretty sure most of the people did.
Well, he spotted it immediately because he stops and goes,
he was like,
oh, no.
I think I touched myself. Wait, you touched yourself? I don't know. I might have touched myself. I think I touched myself.
Yeah.
So he's conked out. He's rolling around on the floor. He tries to climb through the window because the security guy's coming, and the antidote's in the other room, but it's locked. And I thought it was really silly and stupid, and the way he was delivering lines with his mouth not working was hilarious. And finally he gets in the other room, and he passes out, and she's like, damn it, he's gonna die. And she says, action. And it wakes him up, and he stabs himself. Yeah. Because that's how committed to work he is.
I loved this scene. And this whole movie, like, when I got out of it, I was like, I mean, I had the best time in the theater on this, but there's, like, everything in the movie said that you're not supposed to do, and then it did. It put me in a conflicted, like, emotional area, and so I had, like, 3 days of thinking about this. I'm like, oh, God. I loved this scene so much, and when it was happening, I was like, oh, they needed to say something about this, but they don't. In the bean counter, like, Barinholtz is like, in 30 seconds, you're going to be drooling on your knees, and then you're going to stop breathing. The character, Nic Cage with a K, has done so many drugs that it's got him. It's got a hold of him, but he can fight through it.
Right. For America.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, they need to say something about how, like, this guy must be like a drug tank. But they don't, and you're led to infer that. And I was like, oh, that's, 2 days later thinking about it, I'm like, that's really good writing. I like that.
Yeah. Subtle. So he gets it in. And he's good to go. So he comes out, he hangs out with Javi for a little bit, and Javi's like hoping that Nic Cage is going to say, hey, I read Javi's screenplay, I'm going to star in his movie. But instead, Nick is like, no, I'm not going to star in your movie. Instead, I'm going to help you write a movie, because he's got to hang out there longer. And this is his delay tactic so he can find the kidnapped daughter.
No, it's actually not. And I thought about this one a lot too. The way that he pauses, because he's Nic Cage and he's a perfect actor. And he delivers the moment so perfectly. Did you read it? You read the screenplay? Yeah. He never actually had a chance to read the screenplay because the CIA got up to him and he was like, ad-lib. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But what I'd really like, because I can't talk about it, is then he delivers this, let's write another one together that he knows is going to work. He never actually had a chance to read the damn thing. It was probably beautiful.
Probably really good. Yeah. So now they're going to work together. So they start working on this, and they're becoming pretty good pals. And this movie is very rapidly turning into a buddy cop movie.
This has been since the moment that they jumped off the cliff, it rapidly descended into a bromance.
Mm-hmm.
But it does something more special that we'll get to later.
Okay. That's good, because I don't like the word bromance for their relationship. They're buddy cops, but they're best buddy cops. Bosom buddies.
Bosom buddy cops I would watch. All right? I'm looking at you, WB. Bosom buddy cops. Let's see it. Cops. You put some of the worst shit on the air I've ever seen. Why not give bosom cops a try?
Tom Hanks, you are banned from buddy cops. You cannot be in it.
He could endorse it.
Yeah, okay. All right. He comes in, has one line.
No, he doesn't.
Walks off screen.
It just said, bosom buddy cops, endorsed by Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks is no way associated with bosom buddy cops or the WB.
Bosom buddy cops is no way associated with bosom buddies or cops. Bosom buddy cop cereal is in no way related to bosom buddy cops the series.
Bosom buddy cop cereal.
Tits.
Yikes.
Crunchy
Yikes.
tits. Don't let them sit in the milk.
Soften up.
No, soften up. It's irony because milk comes from tits.
Get it? It's meta cereal. You'll be thinking about it for weeks. Which is good, because you won't enjoy the taste.
But this didn't come with any crayons or a decoder ring.
Okay, all right. So, my favorite sequence of the whole goddamn movie is when they're talking about ideas and they're talking about big picture stuff like, oh, it should be a think piece, but also it should, have it needs to say something, and also like make you feel good about these two characters again, and stop questioning life, and they're coming up with all these pitch ideas. It's all a brainstorm session, and they're like, wait, what's it about? Don't know. I know, let's do drugs.
This is the best depiction of LSD that I have seen on screen. Mm-hmm. Because it doesn't try to show you what they're seeing. It just shows you two dickheads on LSD and how it goes down. One dickhead's like, LSD would be an alright idea. I haven't had this in a really long while. And the other dickhead's like, LSD, I had it like 3 weeks. Okay, fuck it.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Like, you do LSD once because it's supposed to be awesome. You're like, that was the most amazing thing ever. And then somebody's like, you want to do that again? I'm like, not for a long time. No, thank you. No, thank you. But if you decide to do it because you're in that situation, that second, third, whatever time is, okay, fuck it. Because you don't want to do it ever again. You do it the one time, you're like, okay, that was amazing. No more, please.
And I like that when they're driving down the coastline, Javi's like, we should have a drug scene in our movie. Yeah. And then they get to the coastal town and hang out, and Nick still doesn't know if Javi's a good guy or a bad guy. And so now Nick is like getting the LSD heebie-jeebies, like watching him pretty hard.
It works great. Like, that's why I keep talking. Like, I even told Sandra this. I was like, that's that most accurate depiction. Like, he goes, oh yeah, fuck it. Then he gets in the car without saying anything, because it's going to take you, 45 minutes for that to hit you. Mm-hmm. They're fine driving there. They're starting to feel a little good, a little happy. Once it hits you, you're not really going to be able to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're in town.
San Pedro, or wherever.
Wherever.
And there's two guys there. And they look suspicious.
Two guys there that don't look suspicious.
No, they do not. They're old guys eating
and
ice
then
cream.
Each person has an idea in their head. And those two ideas get said with mouths. And then those two ideas spiral into complete insanity. And then they're like, wait, are those people looking at us?
They're watching us.
They're watching us.
Don't look. Laugh and look.
Yeah. That was Pedro Pascal doing the subtle turn and giggle was where I was like, whoever wrote this has done acid.
Mm-hmm. That was hilarious. It's hilarious. And so then they think they're getting chased by these old guys. They like go someplace else, and then they see two different old guys eating ice cream, and they're like, oh shit, they're following us. And so that's when the climb over the wall movement from the trailer happens. And the trailer does not do this scene justice.
Yeah. As many days removed, I keep talking about, like, I thought I was going to see this, I thought I was going to see that. I hate trailers in general. I like to just see a movie clean. Oh, man, does this scene work.
It was hilarious. and not for the reasons the trailer shows. Like, it is such a shot for shot, but not like overly done homage to, I won't let you go. Go on without me. You gotta let me. I won't let you go. That thing, that trope in shitty movies, basically. There's still like sprinkled like normal gag jokes in between all that happening.
And the whole time, this is what would happen to two guys on acid.
Yeah. And like at one point, Pedro Pascal, basically does the Harry and the Hendersons, get out of here. And Nic Cage lets him go. And Pedro Pascal, they do the reverse shot and he's falling in slow motion going, no, but he's only like 3 feet up. It's hilarious. I was dying laughing.
And then they come around the corner with the walk that you see, but then it gets funnier again because they become in love with each other again. And you're just like, good Lord, this is hilarious.
Yeah. These two guys are really good best friends. Like, really, really good best friends. Usually movies fail in the you're my best friend thing. I met you yesterday and you're my best friend. Like, what's that? The one with Jason Segel where he needs a new bro. I can't remember what that's called.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
No, that's a new girlfriend. He needs a new bro. And I can't remember who his bro is. It might have been Ryan Reynolds or something. But, like, no, that was pretty good. But Step Brothers doesn't do as good a job as this. What's it? Old Dudes, not Old Dudes. The one with Paul Rudd and Sean William Scott where they end up LARPing. Still not as good as this.
No.
These, Pedro Pascal and Nic Cage, are best friends.
They see eye to eye completely.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, they get tangled in the same acid web.
Right. So, next day, CIA...
I can't drive on acid.
Oh, yeah, there's a car chase. Not
With
really.
no one. He just crashes the piss out of a $125,000 Porsche. And no one cares. Runs over everybody's bikes. And then drives out of there at like 12 miles an hour. Yeah,
don't... God, something happens here. There's no plot synopsis on IMDb yet written. This is like the best plot synopsis you're
they
gonna
get back, and Pedro's asleep. Javi's asleep.
Yeah.
Which is actually not a bad depiction of acid because he's not asleep. He's just trying. He's like, I am too traumatized by what's happened. I'm just going to close my eyes and go to sleep, and he can't. Which you'll find out later. So now, K with a Cage is gone back to where it's supposed to have the hostage.
Yeah, the CIA told him about a location.
In the good writing, all of that legwork that he had done in the previous scene has not paid off at all. So none of the data that he's gathered has worked out one bit.
No, not at all.
He goes down to this spot, and then Javi's just like right there all of a sudden because he was like, I was trying to close my eyes and pretend that none of that happened because I'm on acid. And now Cage is determined. It's like, unlock the door, Javi. You may feel differently about me if you see what's behind those doors. Just unlock the door.
Yeah,
and this is
very
where
dramatic.
Character-wise, they are friends because they have different motivations, but they each think they know one thing that is catastrophic on the other side of that door, and then they both agree to go in that door.
Right. Like, let's see what happens. But that's not where the kidnapped girl is. Instead, it's a shrine to Nic Cage. Is it too much? No, I think it's great. I actually like it a lot. You could have more Nic Cage in here.
What was the fucking axe from?
The axe? Oh, I don't know. I spotted that too, and I don't know what the movies that's from. It was like a very Klingon-y style of axe. It wasn't like maybe
Marvel-y style of axe. It was very strange axe.
Yeah, like
maybe this is a spot for the plug for them to talk at Stinker Madness, because if you know where that axe is from, hit us at
talk@stinkermadness.com.
Or are you supposed to do the whole rattle off with the things?
Oh, Facebook.com/stinkermadness, Twitter.com/stinkermadness. If it's not owned by Elon Musk tomorrow and he shadow bans us all, whatever. Yeah, just you guys know where. Go to the website, stinkermadness.com.
Yeah, just
do things.
If you got this, hit us up.
Click the buttons.
What the hell is that axe from?
What? Yeah. What was it's not from Outcast because he was a sword guy.
Outcast. I don't think that makes it in this one.
Yeah, I don't think it makes it in this movie. I don't know. But the guy, he's got lots of collectibles. He's got the little balls from The Rock. He's got the chainsaw from Mandy. He's got the golden guns from Face Off. And what else is in there?
There was the rubby sequin pillow.
Oh, right.
There was the Nicolas Cage pillow that's the only Nicolas Cage pillow more majestic than the one I have.
I would rather have yours.
I like mine because you can put your face next to Nic Cage's face and just...
You can't sleep on a sequin pillow. Hell no.
I can watch a Nic Cage movie with my head rested next to Nic Cage's face on that pillow.
Exactly. Can't do that with the sequins. So Javi's like, is it too much? He's like, no, it's great. I thought there was going to be a girl in here. No, there's no girl in here. Wait, what? That doesn't actually happen. So they're good. They're still good. Then Javi brings in his family because Nick is telling him about, like, Nick is trying to make excuses for his actions, and he uses his family as a ploy to say, hey, I'm not actually trying to find where a kidnapped girl is and think you're a cartel guy.
No.
It's my family. It's my family. Throwing me off.
Really doesn't. Javi brings that up because he's being such a good friend that he's like, I have realized that you have a lot of pent up feelings and regrets with your daughter. You're right. I do have that. Wait.
No, because
I do.
Javi, he pitches him on the kidnapping idea. The CIA's like, well, what if you write in kidnapping into your plot of your movie? And Nic Cage is like, no, Javi's too savvy. He'll spot that immediately. Well, you got to do it, Nick, or that girl's going to die. And he's like, God damn it. So he pitches it to Javi, like, let's have a kidnapping in this movie, because that will put the butts in seats. You got like a freaking Taken thing. You got Liam Neeson coming in saying, hey, I've got certain skills, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
And Keanu Reeves is like, whoa. And Liam Neeson's like, oh, I'm too old for action movies.
But
why am I still doing them?
That what I just said happens after, and then
So no, Javi brings them in because he's like, normal Nic Cage would never suggest something that stupid.
Yeah, and that's why he starts being his friend again. And then they give us a bit of a red herring where Javi shows some firearms prowess, possibly, but you don't actually see it. You just see him actually go pull and then shoot it. And then possibly after the camera stops rolling, you have Nic with the Cage go, did you hit it? And he's like, I don't know, man. I'm still coming down.
So Nick thinks that he brought his family there to use them as like ransom, like leverage or something. But Javi's just using them to heal Nick's glumness about what he thinks Nick is feeling about his own life. Whereas Nick is just trying to find this girl. Javi's just trying to help his friend and write a movie, while Nick is also trying to write a movie.
Yes.
Fourth level. Whew. So Lucas now. Let's get Lucas involved. The cousin. Javi's cousin.
Who has showed up.
Uh-huh.
And to the studied viewer, there's something going on with this guy.
Oh, hey, yeah. He looks like that bad guy in movies.
He looks like the bad guy in movies, and he's acting a little crazy. He's been acting kind of crazy this whole time, and he's very irreverent.
Well, yeah, he's the bad guy.
Weird.
Yeah, huh, how about that? He's been hiding behind the scenes, is using Javi as the face of the cartel, and saying that, like Javi had to do it, or he'd shoot his girlfriend or his family. I'm not sure. Like,
no,
there's a reason Javi's forced to do it, but I can't remember what it is.
Javi is forced to do it to be a figurehead of the crime family, a visible entity that can't be caught because he's not doing anything wrong, and he can live in this place and have no evidence against him, and they can launder through him, and no one will ever look for the person who's actually doing the things that are bad.
Yeah, but why would Javi do it? Why wouldn't Javi be like, fuck off? There's a reason. Because Lucas has got him under threat.
No, he doesn't have him under threat. It was his cousin. His dad was the guy.
Yeah, his dad was the bad guy. Cousin took it over.
Because his cousin's got the cojones to pull it off.
Right. Javi's
like,
cousin, but
I do want to keep living in this house. Also,
so it's just about the money for Javi.
No, because in this scene, you'll go, oh, wait. Luca will kill me if I don't.
I thought he was going to kill somebody else, too. Like his
girlfriend.
He
will kill whoever.
Okay, all right. So he says, Javi, Nic Cage is here. He's a plant. He's working for the CIA. Javi says, no, that's ridiculous. Are you kidding me? It's Nic Cage. He's not a CIA agent. He's an actor. Oh, yeah, well, here, listen to this tape. Which could, was so vague in Nic Cage's statement, like, that could have just came from anywhere, Javi. You're a sucker. Like, you didn't question this at all. So, anyways, he's like, go kill him. Go kill Nic Cage. And he's like, I cannot kill my best friend, but I guess I have to. And Nic Cage is like, hey, CIA, they brought in my family. And Tiffany Haddish is like, well, you only got one choice. You're going to have to kill him. He's like, I can't kill my best friend, but I have to. So now they're going to kill each other.
Yeah. Get a long, slow motion walk in here. This is the point. I'm going to burn this question right now.
Mm-hmm.
Nic Cage looks good in this movie.
Yeah.
And he's been costumed up so many times lately that you're like, what's he's looking like these days? He disrobes mostly a couple times in this. He's not doing the look at me completely naked, I'm a sexual specimen like he used to do. But for a 50-plus-year-old man, you're like, oh, shit. Or is he almost 60 now?
Oh, he's got to be close to 60. He's no spring chicken. There's no way that we're almost Nic Cage's age. There's no way. No way.
He's probably 60.
He is born in 64. So, yeah, he's getting close to 60. 58.
He looks good.
He looks good.
He looks good.
Hell yeah. He's working out. Not like
we're just
freaking Chris Hemsworth working out. He's like, I just, I go to the gym once a couple days.
Or just eats right and
I eat right.
Goes walking.
Big on the vegan. Probably.
I do not think he is.
Okay. All right. I don't know why my Nic Cage sounds so much like Keanu Reeves. I guess. I don't know. Well,
welcome to the Hall of Presidents.
Dude. So okay. All right, so they both agree to go to the cliffs to finish Act 3 of their screenplay. Even though we're technically still in Act 2 of our movie, they're going to go finish Act 3 is what they say.
Yeah.
But they're going to kill each other. So they pull guns, and that's why it makes it's so hard for me to do what I have to do. Hey, you got a gun. You're my best friend. Oh, I got a gun. I got 2 guns. I don't want to shoot you. I don't want to shoot you either.
They traded shoes before this.
Oh, yeah,
That's
shoe
the
trading.
thing. When we talk about like this movie that talks about how you're supposed to write a character-driven dialogue and a character-driven story, that when they trade shoes and he says, you're the sort of friend that I could not talk to for years. And the first time I talked to you, it'd be like nothing had ever happened before, right?
Picked up where we left off.
Picked up right where we left off. And that's where you're like, wow, these two are childhood friends instantaneously. They're really friends. And throughout this too, in that sort of character-driven thing, Nic Cage has a devil on his shoulder, which is young Nic Cage, who makes out with himself.
Oh my god.
Nic Cage smooches are good!
Nic Cage smooch is good. I shot so much snot out of my... like, Orange Crush just sprayed across the theater. I laughed so hard.
He has this character-driven rebirth and redemption thing going on. And right now, we're part of the way through redemption. But we're not there yet.
Yeah. So they say that they don't want to kill each other. That they're best friends. And then Lucas's goons are like, God damn it. All right, we got to kill them. We got to kill them both. So they start shooting. So they run away. And there's some funny stuff here, especially about like Javi saying like, you got to make a run for the truck. You're faster. No, you're faster. That was funny. I like that a lot.
Yeah, in this, it plays on a thing that happens earlier where he's like, I heard you did all your own stunts and all your own driving and gone in 60 seconds. He's like, yeah, I did. And then that plays into the actual story of the movie later. But then in this scene, he's like, you have to make a run for it. You're faster than me. He's like, no, I'm not. And you've saddled me with bad shoes. And he goes, even in bad shoes, you're faster than me. I read what you did in whichever movie. And he's like, that was the work of the stunt doubles, sir. No, I watched the commentary. You were faster than all the movies. He's like, okay, fine, I'll go.
and then Javi's like, wait, I don't want to be alone. So he runs with him too.
Like, if you're going, I'm going too, because you're my best friend.
So they get to the truck and they get away and they go back to Javi's and they find that Nick's daughter has been kidnapped. Which, hey, wait a minute. This is a daughter kidnapping plot. That's what's in their script that Nick didn't want to do. But Javi was like, that sucks. Why are you coming up with this plot?
And like
now it's the plot of the movie.
Time that I'm like, I came here for a reason and I've gotten that, but then it's given me something I don't like that it says I don't like, and I don't like it. What are you going to do about this? And then I get that you've already done something about this a few times now, but I can only take so much more of this movie.
There's no way. There's no way I'm going to like this kidnapping plot.
There's no way.
There's no way. You told me I couldn't.
It's crap.
So they hatch a plan to rescue her by disguising the world's greatest actor as Balasari.
Oh, God.
Hey, Olivia, you say you met Nick because you used to be a makeup artist. Well, let's do this. And it's hilarious.
He's majestic.
Oh, he's so majestic.
In this jogging suit. I now have a thing for jogging suits because of Run DMC. I've always had a thing for jogging suits. Then the gentleman with the plaid jogging suits, I'm like, oh, I gotta get one of those.
Yeah.
And now this, I'm like, okay, fine. You can't look good if you're not in a jogging suit.
Jason Sudeikis is Dancing Man from What's Up With That?
Yep, which is just Run DMC, though.
Ready Run could never dance as good as Jason Sudeikis. I'm sorry.
His Running Man is like, it doesn't make sense. It's like lighter than air. Why did you do comedy? Why didn't you dance, Fred Astaire? Oh, I rhymed.
All right, so it works. Lucas buys it, and Olivia has to do some acting too to convince Lucas that it's Belisaro, and it's great. And they're brought in front of the girls, and Nick's makeup starts to fail. And Olivia's like, oh, no.
We should mention that, like, they do the whole, well, you're a makeup artist, through, like, most of this set of scenes. She's also a cold-hearted bitch that's the greatest actress on the planet. And he says nothing. Like, did you learn this from me? Because you're doing great right now. And she's like, I had to live with you for 15 years. I know how to do this. Now fuck off. And they don't say that because it's good writing.
Yep, exactly. Don't tell us, show us. So Nick's makeup fails, and Lucas is like, wait, what? And then Nick goes full Nick, badass Nick, movie Nick, stuntman Nick, and grabs Lucas, holds a gun to his head. Girls, get out of here. And Olivia's like, but what about you? He's like, girls first, priority one. Get them, then worry about me.
Yeah. And he had told Devil on his shoulder, Nic Cage, to fuck off in a scene that we didn't talk about. And now he's at redemption in the character-driven movie that we were supposed to get. And we're getting that, but we're also getting a Nic Cage action film. What the fuck? And a comedy? That's hilarious? I don't know where I am. I'm glad I had pizza before I went to this thing, because I would have been hungry afterwards.
The type of movie that requires you to have nachos.
Yeah.
Go in with a full belly or else. Funny, I've never heard Roger Ebert say that.
Roger Ebert wrote Beyond Valley of the Dolls. We just all have to remember that, okay? It's zany, it's crazy, it's a fun time, but when you write that, we got to take everything he said about movies with a grain of salt.
All right. I just saw Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I would say, if you're going to watch it, make sure you have an entire rack of ribs to go with it.
I just think you eat first. You'll be tired afterwards. If you don't, you need some staying power.
I would recommend hitting the buffet. It's the type of performance Nic Cage is giving you. We went to
Keystone Pizza in Caldwell, Idaho, which is a pizza buffet. It is fantastic. Very unhealthy. And I had like 6 pieces of pizza.
Load up and then go watch this movie.
Yeah.
Don't do it on an empty stomach.
No.
Okay. So weird. So then Nick goes full badass. He's shooting guys. Like doing spin moves. Not dumb spin moves like face off bullet chandelier stuff. Like freaking cool moves.
Yeah, and also Javi shows up and starts shooting dudes too, because he's ultimately been trained by them, and it's like his character is now going for his own redemption. And
right.
He has mentioned his love for Gabriella before and all of this, and he's like, no, I have never turned against my family. And that's one of the other reasons why he never leaves, or it's not just that he knows that Luca will kill him. It's that I was born into this. That's even heavier than, Luca will kill me.
That's true.
I was born into this. But he has decided, no. This man is a beautiful man, and he is my friend.
Yeah, he shoots Lucas. Leaves him wounded.
Yeah.
Runs away. Then they're chased. They get in their Jeep, and they're chased with cars and Jeeps. Lucas is on their trail. There's crashes and explosions and just typical awesome action movie shit.
Before the chase, we have to mention the bad joke that may have been the conception for the whole movie. Is that at the very beginning during the kidnapping scene, that if you'd seen the trailer that we saw, we're like, oh shit, Nic Cage is playing himself in a movie. I'm going. Yay!
Right. Nick Cage is on the big screen. I'm going.
I'm gonna watch that movie Piggy just did about the guy that has a truffle pig and goes Nic Cage on everybody.
Mhm.
In that first scene when this presidential daughter or whatever she is gets kidnapped, they're watching a Nic Cage movie and she's like, no one's more badass than Nic Cage.
Mm-hmm.
And when they escape, when
right.
Javi rescues Nick and they get out back to the car, Gabriella had backed over the guy that was going to shoot him, but he gets up and he's not dead and he's about to shoot him again and he gets shot and they're like, oh my God, we're alive still. What's happening? And then Nic Cage steps up with a gun and she goes, oh my God, that's Nic Cage. He's so badass. And I think
she says, Nic Cage, cool.
Oh, that's what, yeah, something like that, right? And cool. But she also like, it's wet panties cool. Like, holy shit,
yeah.
I was about to die. I don't think I'll ever have sex again. Well, no, I'm good. I'm good. Nic Cage. Yeah. Thanks for all of the PTSD is gone right now. Nic Cage.
Whoop.
And I kind of feel like there's a bad joke that somebody's like, what if this happened? And that's how the movie is, conceived originally. Like,
right.
Because of how it starts with that and it ends with, or not ends, but like that happens in this weird subplot that you're just like, that has to be an early on thing.
I think that's a good theory.
That I hung on to that so much to like, well, how about that? Because when I watch this is actually I'll say that for later. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. So they drive to the embassy, and they skid stop in, but Lucas is right on their tail, and he pulls out a gun and he grabs Nick, and he's about to shoot him in front of everybody. It doesn't matter. He's going out in a hail of bullets, but then what the hell? Do you hear that?
Yep. Your neighbors are
fuck off.
Straight six.
Jesus Christ.
And I can only name that because it's probably too loud for you to hear there, but I can only hear the gentle popping of each cylinder.
God damn, dude. Ah, man. Collinsville, Illinois. White trashers. All right. So they drive to the embassy. Skid stop. Lucas pulls a gun, and he's about to shoot every hail bullets. Butch Cassidy saw that skid, blah, blah, blah. And then Eddie is like, Dad, here's this knife that, yes, was given to me by the other girl, and kicked, was in the car because of that guy that they shot.
Javi jumping out of the Jeep.
Oh, yeah.
We got to mention that. So,
yeah,
goes back to Gone in 60 Seconds. Nic Cage knows how to drive.
Right.
He's driving a Land Cruiser better than, or no, a Land Rover. What's that model?
That's a Defender.
The Defender, yeah. It's not an agile vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
It has enough juice that you can spin the tires and get where you need to get. And if you know how to drive, you can go. So he's driving, doing his thing. And Javi decides to sacrifice himself. And then Kay with the Cage stops the car and he's like, no, get in. We're going to make it. He's like, no, I have to stand up to my family at some point. Redemption!
Mm-hmm. Right. Good point. Yeah.
Redemption has already happened for Nic Cage. He put himself in the way of his family. These characters have been redeemed. And they are truly friends. And then, after
Everything
Nic Cage drives off. Oh, you just said this?
No, I said, and then everything I just said about, the knife and the embassy.
Oh, well, but then Cage drives off and Gabriella is there because love. And so you're like, oh, so this cockamamie horseshit is going to have the crappiest happy ending ever? Who the fuck is writing this crap? This doesn't work on paper.
All right, so the knife is thrown. Nic Cage grabs it and plunges it into the heart of Lucas on a movie screen that we're now watching. because this is the movie that Javi and Nic Cage wrote.
And it's like
that we are now watching.
The fifth time in the movie that Nic Cage just goes,
oh, so great. So great. So great. So this is the theatrical release of whatever they call it. I'm guessing The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Which means we're watching... Like I'm starting to like get lost inside the multiverse here. Either way, it's a movie. It's a success. It's a box office smash. Nick is now a big star again. Javi's now got a successful writing career ahead of him, and everybody wants to talk to him. He's Javi. He's a great guy. Gonna be a big shot.
Gonna be a big shot, and they're probably gonna hang out a lot.
Yeah. And Nick is now close with his fixed family. Yeah.
There's a very good chance that these two, Gabriella and Javi, are basically just at their house on every major holiday.
Yeah, I'm sure. Of course. Yeah. Of course. They're best fucking friends, man.
They've been through a lot together. They've become better people for it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Now they've redefined family.
Mm-hmm.
Nick goes home and watches Paddington 2.
Paddington 2. Oh, man. Dad, have you ever seen Paddington 2? Oh, my God. So awesome. That's the movie.
Question 1.
Yeah.
Have you seen Paddington 2?
No.
Okay.
I haven't seen Paddington 1.
So...
Is it a joke or is it actually a great movie?
So this is how much this movie spoke to me. When I watched it, I had anxiety, not really anxiety, but I was like sort of ambivalent to whether it worked or not. I was like, this is supposed to work. This is supposed to not work. But I kept thinking about it, and I knew we were going to talk a lot about it. And I was like, well, I always say if you think about a movie a lot and then you talk about a movie a lot, then it's pretty complex and it did its job. Well, this one did, because after we watched that movie, we watched Paddington 1, because I'm the guy that won't let you watch Paddington 2 until you've seen Paddington 1. And Sandra's like, well, I want to watch Paddington 2. It's supposed to be amazing. That's what Nic Cage said. And I'm like, okay, we have to watch Paddington 1. Tragically, I fell asleep in Paddington 2. It was really late at night, and but here's what I'm going to say about Paddington 1. What an imaginative, wonderful film for children.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, you need to show your son Paddington 1 and 2. I will finish Paddington 2. I think that there's going to be something cool that happens because of the lead up where I got about halfway through Paddington 2, and then I was like, well, I got to go to work tomorrow. That's not what I did. I was like, I'm going to go to work fucking tired as shit watching Paddingtons.
And your body
said, no, you're going to fucking fall asleep during Paddington 2, you stupid dickhead. Oh, God, what? It made me watch Paddington.
Wow. That's a statement. It didn't make me do that, but now I'm curious. I guess I know what I'm doing this weekend.
Yeah, you should watch the Paddingtons.
Okay.
I think your son will really like them.
All right. I don't have any questions. I've got thoughts. Do you want to hear my thoughts, or do you want to ask more questions?
Thoughts. Go ahead.
Okay. I can frame it like a question. Who is Nic Cage to you, Sam? Because who he is to me, he's like a friend. He's like, when I started watching this and seeing him on the big screen, there was this weird sense of familiarity, like a very intimate familiarity that I don't even feel with people I actually know and would actually be defined as friends. People that, you know, you see every now and then, like, oh, hey man, how you been? You hear about the party after the show? Those guys? I feel more closer to Nic Cage as a human being than I do to those people who I've actually spoken to. And I started thinking about this, and it's really weird. we're the first generation that's ever been able to actually do that.
Yeah.
Because I thought about it, like watching, seeing every single piece of work somebody has ever done is possible in our generation.
Sure.
Whereas before that couldn't exist. And when you watch someone work, as I'd say, I don't watch you work. I don't watch my wife work. I don't care. I don't care about your guys' jobs and your product. I just don't. Honestly, ask yourself, do you care about anybody else's job? No, but I care about certain people's jobs, and they're named Nic Cage and Bruce Campbell. And being able to watch every single piece of their job that they do puts my relationship with them on almost this other kind of intimacy. And getting to see him up there as this old guy and still working and still fucking just bringing it.
Yeah. But at the same,
it made me feel good.
Yeah. At the same time, you don't see him working. You see the product of his work.
True.
And
True.
that should be stated that if he has this product of work that is that large and that magnificent, God damn the work that guy does. Because I do not the same work. But I do a lot of work to produce a product that gets seen and stayed, like make monuments, and it will be seen for years and years and years. You're like, oh, that's beautiful. I saw that guy's work. No, you didn't. You didn't see every ounce of fucking blood, sweat, and tears that went into that, right?
True.
That's true. Yeah. Like, this guy's volume of work is incredible. And just imagine the volume of blood, sweat, and tears.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, he works, and then there's moments in the movie where he talks about, this is my fucking job.
Mm-hmm.
He's a workaholic.
Yeah, career? I don't care about the career. This is my job.
This is my job. And he
I have
treats
bills to pay.
Acting like a job.
Uh-huh. And I'm just trying to do the best job I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's magnificent.
Yeah, it's wonderful. But it was just comforting me. It was a weird feeling that I was like, hey, that's my friend up there. Yeah, I'm not trying to be stalkery or anything. I'm not going down that path. I'm just saying, like, that's somebody that I have a very strong relationship with up there, and I get to see him on the big screen.
Yeah.
I haven't got to do that in fucking 20 years, man.
Because he puts his whole self in there. He gives vulnerability, he gives zaniness, he gives craziness. He adds every element of his personality to a performance, not maybe in one movie, but at one point or another, you've had every element of what he has to offer as a human being put on screen.
Mm-hmm.
And he's left it all out on the field, and that's why when you watch him, you're like, I understand him and I know him, because even his mistakes were like mistakes that we made. Right, making the wrong joke at the wrong time or doing the wrong thing, or like, I'm going to put myself out here like this. And you did it and you're like, oh God, but he put himself out there the whole fucking time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he chose to not be Nicholas Coppola, the nephew. Right. He made his own name. Yep.
It was really nice seeing Nic Cage on the big screen. It gave me the warm and fuzzies, not just because of this podcast. It was just like, again, I haven't seen you on screen. The last time I saw him on the big screen was 8mm. Woof. It was a long time ago. Yeah. Because I didn't see Kick-Ass in the theaters. I don't think anybody really did. It was a streaming success. It was It gained cult status after it was in the theaters because it had like a 2-week run in the theaters. So, yeah, very cool.
My final thought.
Yeah.
I've spent days twisting my brain around what this really meant. I think I kind of have a really good idea of it. Because it's Nic Cage's criticism of filmmaking boiled into a Nic Cage movie written by a bunch of a couple young guys with his input, and everything has his input, and the filmmaking has his input. And you think about, oh, well, I used to write shit like this all the time when I was in college. that was sort of bending, and they'd go, well, you don't have this character-driven part, and you don't have this classic Shakespearean part. And I'd be like, well, what if I put that in there? And they'd always say, well, then you'd have crap.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I looked at this on paper, and I was like, this on paper is crap. But then I went back to me as 20 and going, I know this will work if I do it right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the point of this movie, is that Nic Cage went, write the fucking movie you want to fucking write and make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the point of this movie, and I love him so much.
That's a good interpretation of that. I to add to that is, like, there's a lot of room to fuck it up. Like,
you
lot
could only
of room.
fuck it up, and if you weren't being... The director and the writers did well. They did really well. They did stupendously. But after I watched the commentary with Nic Cage on Badass, when he's like, I'll do this movie, and then he gets there, Kick-Ass, and he's like, yeah, you fucked up this whole scene. I'm doing this scene for you. This movie will be successful because I'm going to take over your choreography in this scene. And that scene is fucking amazing, and it sells the movie. I don't think he had to do this with those guys. I think those guys were already like, we're already the students of Nic Cage. And he's like, all right, well, I'll primp you and point you in the right directions. Thank you for showing up and doing the things that I wanted my daughter character in this movie to do. And they're like, we want to be your children. And then they made this movie, but they were all on the same page, and there was no room for error.
They were on the Cage page.
They were on the Cage page, and there was no room for error, but they were there, and that's where... You can write this really brave experimental shit that breaks all of the covenants and conventions or whatever.
Being John Malkovich, adaptation.
Adaptation, again, I didn't like adaptation that much. And
I didn't like adaptation that much, and I didn't like being John Malkovich that much.
I like being John Malkovich, okay. This was just write it and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hit the gas pedal. People like it or they fucking don't. And I've always felt that what it should be. And I've, never made it as a person that could do that. So, whatever, because you can't usually. Right. But this has validated the position of my screenwriting personally. I'm like, wow, you can do crazy bullshit that pokes fun at conventions and then still gives popcorn moments and all these things that you're not supposed to be able to do.
Right. Yeah. All right. Final recommendations. I'll go first. Absolutely must do. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Go to the theaters, or don't. It'll be on streaming. It's going to be a cult film. And not like a big cult film. I think there's a window of time because it's so on the nose about where things are right now with Nic Cage, and the movie is very Nic Cage, and the Hollywood system and all that. You want to see it now. Don't wait 10 years. I don't know if it's going to hold up in 10 years because it's so culturally on the nose to this moment in time.
I'm going further. I'm going to say the most mask restrictions and societal restrictions have been lifted, hopefully in your area. If they have, go to a restaurant that you hope doesn't close.
Get that rack of ribs before you go in and seeing this. You're going to need that food.
Give them some money, keep them open, and then go see this movie. And then go to another restaurant or that same restaurant again, and then go see this movie. Like, go... Tommy Wiseau wanted you to go see this movie in the theater twice. I think you should see this movie in the theater 3 times and support your local restaurants while you're doing it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Good plug. America, USA.
What is America if it's not Nic fucking Cage? Woo! Cage!
All right, there's your show. Enjoy your week, guys. Get to the chopper.
No, you pulled the plug on me. I'd gone full Cage.